Yes, it's summer. Yes, I'm on my patio. And yes, we're talking about grades. Sorry. Hey everyone, I know it's summer and this is really the last thing you want to think about, but I've been getting a lot of questions about grading, and I thought I would just share my story about how I deal with papers and a system that helps me have free time. The free time to build the blog and make videos and help all my teacher friends out. So, I'm in year 19 of teaching, and I'd say about 10 years ago, I reached my breaking point. I was using every night, lots of hours on the weekends to keep up with a stack of papers that just always seemed to get bigger and bigger, and I couldn't keep pace. I knew that I couldn't continue in teaching the way I was, and I had to do something to make life more bearable. And that's when I came up with some systems and some strategies that have really helped me in the last decade reclaim my life. And I want to share those with you. I've decided to do a 4-part series. I'm going to call it Grading Hacks. And each episode will have different themes. The theme for today's episode is Slash the Stack. Cull it down, because it really can grow so high that it'll topple you over and bury you forever. So I have 6 tips today to help you slash the stack, and then there'll be more tips coming in the next 3 episodes, probably once a week or so, as we lead up into the school year. I think it's important to do it now so that you have a strategy in place before school begins. If you wait to deal with this until school starts, you'll be overwhelmed and you won't make those decisions. So here we go, 6 tips to help you manage the paper load. Okay, first up, do not grade everything. There is no line in my teacher contract that says I have to grade every single piece of paper that little Johnny writes on. In fact, I pick and choose what I'm going to do. But that doesn't mean that Johnny can't benefit from writing a lot and creating work for me, but the type of work that I'm going to give feedback on, I'm more judicious in what I respond to. And here's some examples. So for, let's say we're reading a chapter and they're doing short answers, and then we're going to talk about the short answers in class the next day. Well, when they turn those in and we have the discussion, that's great. But when they turn them in, I only grade like 2 or 3 if there were 10 in the stack. Or if I'm giving a short answer quiz, maybe an open book quiz, that sort of thing, and there's 4 questions, I only grade 2 of them. Now the kids don't know ahead of time which ones I'm gonna grade, obviously. And I just sell it like it's a game. Hey, you better do a good job on all 4 because you don't know which 2 I'm gonna do. And once I explain to the kids that I don't have time to have, I've got 5 classes, 34 kids, that's 170 kids that you would have to grade papers for. Who's got time for that? So cull it down, pick a few, grade those, and move on. So that's my first tip. Don't grade everything. There's just no way you can. Along that line, the second tip is to have them write more than you grade, even on major works. So I use something called Crazy Essay Week, where they write 3 essays, we choose 1, we refine it, and that's the one I grade. And this is really great for standardized test prep. A lot of my juniors are worried about the SAT. In California, they also had the EAP, the Early Assessment Program, to see if they were college ready, so they could get it together before senior year and get those skills if they were missing any. And so those are essay based. There's essays on there. And the only way to get better at writing is to write a lot and get feedback. So I would give them a prompt on Monday. Like say on Monday, they're writing about like unhealthy competition amongst peers. And they have 1 class period to write that essay, and I take it. On Tuesday, I give them another prompt. Maybe they're writing about helicopter parents and whether they're helping or hurting kids. So they spend the 45 minutes writing that and turn it in. On the 3rd day, on Wednesday, I give them something about maybe legislation to prohibit celebrity endorsements of products, pro or con, and they write that essay and turn it in. Then on the 4th day, on Thursday, I have those 3 that they've written. I've held on to them, and I do a lottery. I pull topic 1, 2, or 3 out of a bag, and that's the one they're given back. They revise it, they polish it, they make it as perfect as they can be in that class period, and that's the one that I grade. So they've written 3 times as much, sometimes 4 times as much as I'm gonna grade, and give them really rich feedback on that, but they're getting more practice. I sort of equate it to being like a football coach or an athletic trainer. You gotta work out to get ready for the big game. And so those practice pieces are the workouts, the weight training, a little cardio session, and then the big game is the Thursday paper. Uh-oh, there comes a dog. Ah, you're about to meet a fluffadoo. Okay, ah. All right, so she walked over there. Okay, come here, Ray, come here. This is. Hi, Internet. Okay, hack number 3. When you give reading assignments as homework, you want to make sure the kids have actually done the reading so that they can participate in class, not just smile and nod and pretend like they've done the reading while 2 smart kids actually answer your questions. So a way to make this happen is to give a reading quiz to hold their feet to the fire. But you don't want to spend all weekend grading reading quizzes. You got better things to do. So instead, try the 1-question quizzer. Basically, that's all it is. It's a 5-point quiz. I call it a quizzer so it doesn't seem as scary. And it's 1 question from last night's reading. And I generally focus on something that they can't find on SparkNote summaries, because that's where they're going to go. And instead, it focuses on something funny or something gross or just something really memorable from that last night's reading. So for example, if we're reading Huckleberry Finn, and it's the chapter where he is making up a fake name and he misspells, another kid asks him, oh, what's his name? He says George Jackson, and he misspells Jackson. Then it's a funny little moment, haha. And then that might be something that I ask them about. Or if it is about Great Gatsby, and I'll say, what did Nick wipe off the photographer's face at the end of the party? Then he'll say shaving cream, because several times in the passage it's mentioned that the shaving cream is bothering Nick. So if something's mentioned 2 or 3 times, then it's sort of fair game for me. If the questions are too hard and nobody got it right, then throw that quiz out and just be like, okay, well, I'll recalibrate and we'll get it right next time. So it's a little bit of a practice to get, but once you get it down, oh, those quizzers, they grade so fast. In fact, less than 3 minutes, I can get 34 quizzers graded and entered into the grade book. You just enter the assignment, fill down, and then the few kids who missed it, you mark them down, and you are ready to go. The scoring is easy. If you get their answer right, it's 5 points. If you get the answer wrong, it is 0 points. If you try to phony baloney an answer, it's 0 points. But if you're honest, and you just say, I don't know, or I didn't read, I give you 1 out of 5 points to reward you for your honesty. So give it a go. That's hack number 3, the 1-question quizzer. It's almost like a game show in my class, and the kids actually kind of like it because they're like, yay, I got it right. And they're a little proud of themselves. I'm like, you should be. You should have just read the homework, but whatever works for you. Hack number 4, instead of one of your essay rounds when you finish a novel, you could host a writing contest instead. And over the years, I've done a theme like Survivor Island, or I've done a Hunger Games writing contest where we take, I divide the class, let's say I gotta do the math here, I don't know, what's 12 times? Let's say I've got 36 kids in a class, just to make the math right. And then I've got 12 topics. So I put 3 kids are writing a paragraph on one of 12 topics. So I'll have 12 groups of 3 that are competing against each other in round 1. So let's say we're analyzing symbolism. I pick 12 symbols, and then those are like the 12 competitor rounds. And then we do a read around round robin where kids read silently and score them. I have a rubric for all that. And then we add up who won. And then the 12 winners of each of those topics go up against each other for round 2 the next day in class. And so I teach the kids how to evaluate the writing. We have rubrics. There's a lot more details about that down in the description, but you could run a writing contest any way you want. The kids get really rich feedback, the winners get extra credit, and I get 1 round off of grading essays. We do 4 major essays a year in my department, and I do more than that, but I can't do that much more than that. So this is a way, the writing contest, to have a rich writing experience, have the kids get meaningful feedback, and have a little fun with it also. So grading hack, writing contest can get you a lot of gain with not as much effort on your part. All right, number 5, we're on. Rethink your assessments. And what I mean by that is, are you giving the assignment to assess the skills you want, or are you creating extra work for yourself? So when we do speeches in my class, I don't grade manuscripts. I'm not grading for grammar then, because it's about public speaking are the standards that I'm evaluating and what's on the rubric. If we're doing book reports, I'm actually assessing their reading, not their writing. So I actually don't do book reports at all. I just talk to kids about their books, and we just have a conversation, almost like two friends sitting down at a coffee shop chit-chatting about what they like. I have a whole bunch of free SSR materials, Sustained Silent Reading. It's how I run my free choice or independent reading program. I'll put the link down there for you guys there as well. But the last thing I want to do is grade book reports at the end of the 9 weeks. I would much rather have conversations with my kids about books all throughout the quarter leading up to it. So hopefully you'll give that a shot. It definitely lightens my grading load because at the end of the quarter, I just go through, I do a little bit of calculator math, and I just put those grades in and I go off, submit grades, and I'm good to go. And then our last hack, if you will, for this round, for this episode, you know, sometimes, you guys, I'm gonna take some heat for this, but it's okay to just throw some completion points on a stack of papers and move on with your life. I'm sure you've had this experience, like I do regularly, where there will be that one stack of papers. They've been sitting in my wire basket staring at me for like 3 weeks. Usually I get everything back within a couple of days. But sometimes there's that one stinking stack of papers. You know what? If it's been hanging around my desk for like the 3rd week, forget it. It's not going to get graded. I've got more stuff coming in. I throw 5 out of 5 on every paper, throw it into the grade book, and move on with my life. Again, no one ever said you have to grade every single piece of paper that they write on, and nor should you. You've got other things to do with your time. All right, there are 6 hacks to help you through. More are coming next week in episode 2, so stay tuned for that. You guys, what are you doing thinking about grading? It's summer vacation. Let's go relax a little bit. All right, I'll see you next time.
What you working on over there?
I'm making a video. Do you want to be on my video for YouTube?
What is it?
I'm a teacher and I talk to other teachers on YouTube. Do you want to say hi to the whole internet?
Sure.
Yeah. Hey.
English teachers rock. My sister's an English teacher.
High school?
She's actually at Meridian Middle.
Oh my God, middle school teachers, they're like the hardest working people.
But
well,
English teachers, they work hard. I know how hard it is for a living, and they need to pay you guys more.
Sign me up. All right, I'll be right back.